Chapter 4. From Dependency to Destiny, Rewriting Your Future. Real Life Interview. Blessing N, age 29, Nigeria, widow turned entrepreneur. After my husband's sudden death, I sat on the floor and cried for 3 months straight. Then, something inside me snapped. I stood up, wiped my tears, and told myself, no man is coming to save me. I must save myself and my children. I used the last 20, zero in my house to buy used clothes and started selling from door to door. Today, I own 2 small boutiques and even train other young women for free. It was pain that opened my eyes, but purpose that kept me moving. 4.1 Turning the Page, Rewriting Your Story. There comes a pivotal moment in every woman's life, often quietly, unnoticed by many, when she must make a choice. Will she continue to live the story she was told, or will she step into the power of writing her own? This is not an easy decision. It is not simply about altering external circumstances, it's about a radical internal shift. The dependency that may have been ingrained in her upbringing, reinforced by society, and handed down by culture, cannot be her life sentence. Dependency is a phase, not a fate. It may have been her background, her comfort zone, and even her identity, but it must never be the end of her story. To turn the page, she must break free from the chains of belief that she is meant to be nothing more than an extension of someone else's success or survival. She must find herself, and in doing so, she will find the strength to build a new narrative. The power within, the hands that serve, can build. For years, many women have been told that their worth is measured by their ability to serve, whether it's serving a husband, children, or the needs of the family. Their hands have been busy with domestic tasks, cooking, cleaning, caregiving, and while these are beautiful acts of love, they are often underappreciated and underutilized as sources of empowerment. But here's the truth. The same hands that have nourished and cared for others have the power to build businesses, create wealth, and shape destinies. My grandmother never went to school. She spent years selling food on the roadside. When she passed away, she owned properties. She built a legacy. I never realized until later her hands were not just for serving, they were for creating. Adama N. Grana. The mind, from planning meals to planning wealth. Women have always been incredible planners. From the very beginning, their minds are trained to think ahead, to ensure that there's enough food, enough clothing, enough love to go around. They plan meals, celebrations, and family schedules. Their ability to organize is nothing short of extraordinary. But if a woman can organize a household and plan meals for her family, then surely she has the capacity to plan wealth. She can budget, invest, and create. She can multiply resources, not just preserve them. Instead of planning what will be served for dinner tonight, she can plan what her future will look like financially, emotionally, and professionally. I used to worry about whether my husband would bring enough money home. But then I realized if I could manage a household on a tight budget, I could manage a business. Chiamaka, Nigeria. The voice, from love to leadership. A woman's voice is powerful. She can speak words of love, comfort, and compassion. But that same voice can also command a team, lead a movement, and inspire change. How often are women taught to speak only when spoken to give and give without asking for anything in return? But when a woman understands her voice's power, everything changes. The shift from dependency to destiny happens the moment she realizes that her voice is not just a whisper of love, it is a command. When I spoke up for myself, when I demanded to be heard, it was like the world opened up. My voice became my power, and it gave me the courage to create a business. Marianne S. Uganda. The moment you believe, the beginning of your new story. No one will write your story for you. No one will hand you a pen and tell you, go ahead, rewrite your destiny. The first step towards change is self-belief, believing that you are enough, just as you are, and that your potential does not depend on anyone else's validation. Once you choose to believe this, you can begin the process of writing the next chapter of your life. You can begin building, you can start planning, you can take steps towards your goals. The world tried to tell me that I was weak, that I couldn't stand on my own, but the day I believed I was enough, everything changed. I started my business, and I've never looked back. Keisha T, South Africa. Your next step, own your narrative. 1. Look in the mirror. What do you see? A woman capable of change? A builder? A creator? Affirmation. I am enough, and my story is mine to write. 2. Identify one area of life where you have been dependent, whether emotionally, financially, or socially. What small change can you make today to regain control of that area? 3. Create a vision board that includes personal, financial, and professional goals. This is your roadmap. Every time you feel discouraged, look at it to remind yourself where you are going. 4. Commit to action not tomorrow, but today. The first step is often the hardest, but it is the most important. Start small, but start now. Final affirmation. I am more than my circumstances. I am more than my past. I am the architect of my future, and I choose to build a legacy that I can be proud of. 4.2. What destiny looks like for a modern African woman. In the past, society often defined a woman's worth by her relationship status or her role as a wife and mother. The narrative was clear her destiny was tied to her ability to serve others, usually in the background. But the future is different. The modern African woman is no longer confined to these outdated definitions. She is forging her own path, reclaiming her power, and embracing the full breadth of her potential. Destiny is not something handed to her. It is something she creates, and it begins with a shift in mindset. The woman of today, especially in Africa, is taking ownership of her future, not just as a mother or wife, but as a leader, partner, builder, and warrior. What does destiny look like for her? 1. She earns and contributes. The modern African woman is no longer waiting for a man to provide for her. She earns her own income and contributes to the family's financial well-being. She recognizes that financial independence is the key to empowerment and security, not just for herself, but for her family. In doing so, she removes the chains of dependency and becomes a contributor, an equal partner in her household. I don't just want to be supported by my husband. I want to support him. Together, we build an empire. Ngwu, Nigeria. She is not just a passive recipient in her life. She is an active participant, contributing her time, talents, and resources to her family's future and society's betterment. 2. She learns continually. The modern African woman understands that learning never ends. Whether it's gaining new skills for her career, improving her business acumen, or developing emotional intelligence, she is committed to growth. She invests in her education, not only formal education, but also self-development, digital literacy, and vocational training. She stays relevant, continuously adapting to the changing world around her. The world is evolving, and she evolves with it. In a world where everything changes fast, the only thing that gives me power is learning. Tumi, South Africa. Her growth is not just for herself, it is for her family, her community, and the future generations she will influence. 3. She teaches her daughters and sons to respect shared responsibility. One of the most important lessons a woman can impart is shared responsibility. The modern African woman teaches her children, both daughters and sons, that marriage is about partnership, not dependency. She shows them that success does not come from one person's shoulders, but from both partners working together toward common goals. She raises children who respect equality, where both genders contribute to the household financially, emotionally, and physically. When I married, I was taught to serve my husband. But when I have children, I will teach them that they must serve one another, not just in marriage, but in life. Adama, Ghana. She believes in the power of family teamwork and that this philosophy must be passed down to the next generation. For her, The future of her children is brighter if they learn to stand together, rather than relying on traditional, outdated gender roles. 4. She prepares for both presence and absence. The modern African woman is prepared for every circumstance. She does not live in fear or passivity. She plans for both presence and absence. She acknowledges that life's unpredictability is inevitable, whether it's the potential loss of a partner, an unexpected health issue, or a sudden financial crisis. But instead of waiting for calamity to strike, she prepares for all eventualities. She builds resilience in her life through financial independence, emotional strength, a strong network of support. She knows that loss, pain, and hardship are part of life, but she is equipped to handle them without losing herself. I'm not planning for my husband's death, but I'm preparing for anything life throws at me. Sharon, Uganda. Her strength lies in self-sufficiency, not in anticipating despair. She doesn't fear the unexpected. She welcomes it as a challenge she can face with strength and grace. 5. She sees value in herself, even outside relationships. The modern African woman understands that her worth is not defined by her relationship status. Whether she is single, married, or widowed, she recognizes that her value exists independently of the people around her. She knows her worth as an individual, a creator, a professional, and a human being. She is not just the sum of her relationships with others. She is enough on her own. For many years, I thought I had to be defined by my marriage, but I've come to realize that I am complete just as I am. My journey is not dependent on someone else's approval. Lola, Kenya. Her self-worth is unshakable, and she holds herself accountable to her dreams, not just the expectations of others. This is not rebellion, this is rebuilding. Some may call it rebellion, others may call it independence. But for the modern African woman, this journey is about rebuilding. It is not about turning against the traditions or cultural values that once shaped her. It is about redefining them to serve her, her family, and her community. She is rebuilding a legacy for herself and for her children, a legacy where love is shared, responsibility is equal, and empowerment is the foundation. Reflection questions. 1. How do you define your value outside of your relationship status? 2. What financial goals have you set for yourself that will ensure your independence? 3. How do you teach your children, or plan to teach them, about shared responsibility in relationships? 4. What steps are you taking to ensure that you are always prepared for both presence and absence in your life? Final affirmation. I am the author of my destiny. I will create, contribute, and lead. I will be a beacon for the next generation of women to follow, showing them that the future belongs to those who prepare, not to those who wait. Quotes to reflect on. A woman with vision is a woman with power. Dr. Ngozi Okonjo, Iweala. You may not control how your story started, but you can choose how it ends. C. Ngwu. Destiny does not respond to dependency, it responds to decision. Oprah Winfrey. 4.3. Rewriting begins with small steps. The journey from dependency to destiny does not require one grand leap. It's about taking small, deliberate steps that compound into powerful changes over time. Every small step you take toward your independence, confidence, and success is a victory. In fact, rewriting your story begins with recognizing that change doesn't always happen overnight, but it's the consistency of effort that leads to transformation. 1. Name your dream. The first step in rewriting your destiny is clarifying your vision. What do you truly want for your life? What does your future look like beyond what others have envisioned for you? Your dream may seem far-fetched, unconventional, or even unattainable at first, but it is your dream. The key is to give it a name, give it a voice, and commit to making it your reality. Write it down, journal your thoughts, dreams, and aspirations. Say it aloud, whether to yourself in the mirror or in front of a supportive friend. This makes it tangible. By naming my dreams, I finally took the first step toward making them real. It became more than just a thought in my head. It became a goal I could start working toward. Ifeoma, Nigeria. Don't be afraid to start small. Even if your dream feels unrealistic, taking the step to name it empowers you to manifest it into reality. Every great achievement started as a fleeting thought or a dream, but only those who dared to name and own their vision made it happen. 2. Learn a skill. In today's world, skills are the currency of empowerment. Whether you choose to be a seamstress, a tech entrepreneur, a farmer, or a freelancer, learning a skill is the key to building a solid foundation for your independence. Skills open doors to opportunities that transcend traditional roles and responsibilities. If you don't already have a skill, now is the time to acquire one. You don't need to be the best at it. Immediately, what matters is starting. Consider technical skills, web development, coding, graphic design. Creative skills, writing, photography, painting. Practical skills, sewing, cooking, crafting, event planning. Business skills, marketing, project management, customer service. Learning how to use a computer was the game changer for me. It opened doors to freelance writing, and now I work for clients from all over the world. Miriam, South Africa. Invest in yourself, take online courses, attend workshops, or learn from local experts. Skill acquisition doesn't require vast resources, but it does require commitment. Start small and watch how your ability grows over time. 3. Start small. The fear of starting small is what holds many women back from even taking the first step. It's easy to feel as though if you can't launch your dream on a grand scale, it's not worth starting at all. But small beginnings are the very foundation of success. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be consistent. Start with small, manageable steps. Sell a product to 5 people. Offer a service to 3 clients. Create a portfolio or a social media page. Each step, no matter how small, propels you forward. Celebrate these small victories. They're the building blocks of your larger success. I started with just 1 customer. I took a photo of my product, posted it on Facebook, and sold it. I never imagined how small steps would lead me to where I am today. Kemi, Nigeria. Remember, no success story was built overnight. Don't be afraid to start small. Great things often have humble beginnings. 4. Save something. A powerful tool in a woman's journey to independence is savings. It doesn't matter how much you start with, what matters is the habit you build. Even if you begin with just €2 a week, you are creating a cushion of security for yourself. Savings give you freedom, the freedom to make decisions without being dictated to by financial uncertainty. It gives you options. It's also a way of showing yourself that you are worthy of the things you desire in life. Begin with consistency. Set aside a percentage of your income, no matter how small. Open a separate savings account for your emergency fund. Avoid the temptation to dip into it unless absolutely necessary. The day I saved my first plankton, 0, I felt like I had taken a huge step toward control over my life. It wasn't much, but it was enough to change my mindset. Ngwu, Nigeria. It's not the amount that matters in the beginning, it's the discipline and habit of saving. The more you save, the more you'll see your financial freedom grow. 5. Surround yourself with builders. No woman is an island. The company you keep will either lift you or drag you down. Surround yourself with builders women who are on the same journey as you, who support each other and share in the dream of growth, success, and empowerment. Find mentors, join women's groups, attend networking events. These are the spaces where you will learn, grow, and find the encouragement you need when things get tough. The women I surround myself with push me to do better. We share ideas, support each other's businesses, and celebrate each other's successes. It's the best community I've ever been a part of. Zainab, Kenya. When you are part of a tribe of strong, supportive women, you will never walk alone. They will motivate you, hold you accountable, and help you grow in ways you never imagined. Final thoughts. Rewriting your story doesn't require perfect circumstances, grand resources, or instant success. It begins with small, intentional steps: naming your dream, learning a skill, starting small, saving consistently, and surrounding yourself with a supportive community of builders. These actions, when taken with consistency and determination, create momentum that will carry you toward the future you desire. It's time to rewrite your story step by step, day by day. You are capable, you are worthy, and the world is waiting for you to take your place in it. Reflection questions. 1. What is one dream you've been putting off that you can begin pursuing today? 2. What skill can you start learning this week to improve your independence? 3. How can you begin saving today, even if it's a small amount? 4. What actions can you take to surround yourself with women who will uplift and support you? Final affirmation. Every step I take, no matter how small, is a step closer to rewriting my story. I am empowered, I am capable, and I will continue to build my destiny. 4.4 Personal Reflection Exercise. My next chapter. Step 1. In your journal, answer honestly. 1. What is the one dream I buried because I was waiting for a man to make it happen? 2. What skill or passion have I ignored that could become my lifeline tomorrow? 3. If I had to provide a loan, what income path could I start immediately, even if small? Step 2. Action plan. My vision. My first step this week. One woman I'll talk to for guidance. Closing words for Chapter 4. Dear woman, your destiny is not in a man's pocket. It's in your hands, your mind, and your decisions. It's okay to cry. It's okay to need help. But after the tears, stand up, build, learn, become. Because one day, your children will not just call you mother, they will call you warrior.